What's going on, everyone? Today we have got a very unique tactic. It is a 4-2-3-1 that is basically fully customized with every single role, which is something I've never really done before. And I will tell you this up front, this is a fairly attacking tactic. You will get a lot of goals. It's also fairly sound defensively if you are an elite level side, which means this tactic is most definitely best suited for those elite level sides or mid-table sides. Now, if you wish to download this tactic that you'll see here in today's video, I'll be linking my Discord down below in the description. That is where you're going to be able to download it from within the download section of the Discord. But now, with all that being said, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So, unlike basically every tactic video that I've done on my channel, I decided to test with one club, and the reason why I decided to test with one club was because these players suited exactly what I wanted to try and do, and I tested with Arsenal. Now, this wasn't just a one and done type test where I was like, oh, this did pretty well, let's go ahead and post it. No, this was a test that I tested about 10 different times to get it exactly how I wanted. There were times where this tactic won the Champions League. There were times where they only lost one game, almost going invincible, and the team that beat them that time was Tottenham, which I thought was hilarious. But this time, I got it exactly how I wanted it. We ended up winning every single trophy possible within England. Because as we can see here, we won the league on 90 points, 8 points clear of Man City, dominating in goals scored. 105 is what we put up in the league. The next highest was Man City at 88. We also had the fewest goals conceded in the league as well, which also led to us having 16 clean sheets, which once again was most in the league. Well, kind of joint first in the league between Aston Villa and Liverpool, as well at 16. But like I said, we ended up winning every single trophy within England. We ended up winning the FA Cup, we won the Carabao Cup, and we won the Community Shield. Unfortunately, we got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League though by PSG. In the Community Shield, we beat Man City 1-0. Carabao Cup final, we ended up beating Man City once again, this time by a score of 3-2. And in the FA Cup, we played Bournemouth and smashed them by a score of 6-0 within the final. And what I love about this tactic is that it allowed us to basically have Man City's number every single time. They did not have an answer for us. And that honestly was probably down to how many players were having an impact with this system. The amount of double-digit goal scorers and those who had double-digit goals kind of blew me away. Gabriel Jesus led the way with 27 goals, Bukayo Saka with 22, and Gabriel Martinelli with 20. They were on the wings. Emile Smith-Rowe usually was playing that number 10 spot, which I was kind of surprised by. He ended up having 18 goals. Reiss Nelson as a sub, although getting quite a bit of game time, with 15 goals to his name. Martin Odegaard with 14, and Kai Havertz with 13. Then we get to the assist department, and the one player that had an insane, and I mean insane, effect in the system was Martin Odegaard and how he played. He had 31 assists. Next highest was Reiss Nelson with 19 assists. So Reiss Nelson, of all people, 15 goals, 19 assists. That's absolutely fantastic. Bukayo Saka with 17, as well as Mr. Declan Rice, and Gabriel Martinelli with 15. Now, this tactic is very, very unique, and you are definitely going to be able to tell that by the way I break it down here on Tactical Board. So, as we can see on screen, this is a much more attacking version of a 4-2-3-1, because usually when I do my 4-2-3-1s, I like having defensive midfielders, so the central midfielders are further back. I have them as central midfielders, so they're further up, which makes this tactic much more attacking and very, very lethal, as we could tell from those player numbers. But this tactic features an advanced forward up top. We got wingers out wide, an attacking midfielder at the number 10, 2 central midfielders in central midfield, 2 inverted wingbacks, 2 ball playing defenders, and a sweeper keeper. Now, what is awesome about this tactic is how it is going to kind of shape up. It's going to look very, very different for some of you. So these wingers are the ones supplying the width. They stay out wide. The advanced forward kind of can do what he wants. He can move it in channels, as well as the attacking midfielder. I have Rome from position on as well, so he can kind of do whatever he wants. Hence why Emile Smith-Rowe was such an impactful player, as was Kai Havertz. They both played that position. Then we have the 2 central midfielders. Now, one central midfielder is more attacking than the other, just slightly more attacking. They are, however, both on the support duty. The right central midfielder is more attacking. The left central midfielder is a little bit more defensive. So this is how you could kind of see it shaping up, something like this. Although a lot of these roles, especially the number 10 and the central midfielders, are interchangeable. So if Declan Rice wants to go on a run, he can. If Martin Odegaard wants to go on a run, he can. So they all cover for each other. It's absolutely awesome to watch. But then you'll notice we also have those inverted wingbacks. The inverted wingbacks supply some cover behind them, kind of acting like a failsafe in a way behind the number 10 and the central midfielders. Then you also have the ball playing defenders come up. They will probably stay a little bit wider. However, you could potentially see something a little bit like this. So yes, there is a little hole right here, but due to me allowing that number 10 to roam from their position, moving to channels, kind of have free reign of what they want to do, they are basically in a rondo the entire time to where they can just continuously pass the ball off, look for chances, look for opportunities, find that pass to get the goal. And what's awesome about this is that those wingers are supplying that width, and everyone can hit those wingers out wide who can then hit a cross in, usually low crosses, and either the striker, those central midfielders making runs, or the attacking midfielder, or even the inverted wingbacks making runs. It can get very, very crowded in there, but they score a boatload of goals by doing so. Which is why this tactic is so darn good in attack, and it is very solid in defense as well, because they're all very responsible in defense, and I made sure to at least have one of those central midfielders be a little bit more defensive minded than the other to help out with that. But now we're going to take a look at some highlights and analysis with the system and how it performs within FM24. We will have 2 matches with the kind of 2D overhead look and then one with the 3D match engine. So the first match we're going over is a 5-0 victory over Brentford. They absolutely dominated, and one player dominated in particular. It was the more attacking central midfield version, and it was Mr. Martin Odegaard in that role, where he had 4 assists on 5 of our goals. Now, given some of them do come from set pieces, but number 8 down here highlighted, Mr. Odegaard, is absolutely unbelievable in this match, so make sure to keep an eye on him. Now, just from those highlights alone, I can confidently say this is probably one of the most fluid attacking tactics that I myself have ever created. The way that they seamlessly link up, the passes, the vision, everything basically is perfect for this tactic. And you're about to see that once again on how perfect the link up play can be, because in this match, Arsenal take on Bournemouth, this time though within the league, and they beat them by a score of 8-1. There's multiple players scoring goals, multiple players contributing with assists, basically total team football. So definitely enjoy how this looks within the highlights. Now what those highlights basically show right there is if you have the right players, the right system, you're going to be able to outright dominate your opponent, because Bournemouth are no slouch within FM. They're no slouch in reality either. Are they an Arsenal? No, they're not. But this system and this team is absolutely bonkers. And now the final highlight match is going to be the FA Cup final once again against Bournemouth, where we beat them 6-0. But in this match, just kind of take in how it looks within the 3D match engine, because it looks absolutely amazing. Once again, the central midfielders turning playmaker big time in this match, with Declan Rice having an assist, Martin Odegaard with 2 as well. So, if we could tell one thing from these 3 matches that we just kind of highlighted and analyzed a little bit right there, if you have an elite side and you're trying to get the most out of your side, or a mid-table side trying to get the most out of your side, trying to overachieve, this tactic is going to do all of that and more for you. This is absolutely fantastic. So, I guess now let's go ahead and get into the FM side of things and break down all the player instructions. Alright, so the tactic that you will be looking for in the download section of the Discord is Gormy's 4231 Gem of Gems. That is what the file will be called. In this tactic, we have an advanced forward on attack up top, 2 wingers on attack supplying the width. We have an attacking midfielder on attack as well as the number 10, 2 central midfielders on support behind them, not defense midfielders, central midfielders, so that they're a little bit more attacking. Then we have 2 inverted wingbacks on support, 2 ball playing defenders on defend, and a sweep keeper on defend. The advanced forward on attack was left as is. Both wingers on attack have crosses aimed at center, shoot more often, and tackle harder. The number 10, that attacking midfielder on attack, has take more risks, roam from position, and move into channels. The left central midfielder on support has take more risks, crosses aimed at the far post, move into channels, and tackle harder. That right central midfielder on support has all of the same things, except I added get further forward to that one. Both inverted wingbacks in support have tackle harder. Both ball playing defenders on defend were left as is, and that sweep keeper on defend was also left as is. Due to this being an attacking tactic, this is of course played with an attacking mentality. When we are in possession of the ball, we have fairly narrow attacking width. We look for those underlaps on the left and the right from those inverted wingbacks or even those central midfielders, and we play out from the defense. We work the ball into the box, using low crosses in the final third, shorter passing directness, and slightly higher tempo. When in transition, we counter press and counter, distribute to the fullbacks and center backs. And when out of possession, we have a high press line engagement, higher defensive line, and more often trigger press. This tactic is definitely one that you need to give a go if you are an elite level side or a mid-table level side. If you are kind of relegation favorites or a newly promoted team, there are some tweaks that you could probably make to this to make it a little bit more suited to your team style, as you aren't going to be able to play to an Arsenal type level and get the most out of the tactic, but you can definitely still utilize the tactic by making these few changes. And the first change that I would make for those of you that want to use this who are a newly promoted type side is the attacking midfielder on attack. I would switch them from that to on support. It takes away the get further forward instruction, which is automatically on the attack role and instruction right there. So they kind of sit a tiny bit deeper and make sure that they are kind of a playmaking pivot for your side. And then the second change that I'd make is at the striker position. I would instead go from an advanced forward on attack, even though that is the best one to utilize. And I would go with a pressing forward on attack so that you still have someone that is aggressive there. The advanced forward on attack is going to be aggressive, but being that you are taking that attacking midfielder down to support, you still want some pretty high aggressiveness from your striker. Putting them as a pressing forward on attack will most definitely do that. As we can see, moves in channels close down more on your opponent and tackles harder as well. So those are the two changes that I would make for those of you that do wish to utilize this if you are a newly promoted side. So there we have it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. This tactic is absolutely phenomenal, so definitely feel free, give it a go if you wish to download it. But you link in my Discord down below in the description. You can download it from the download section of my Discord. But if you have enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button. Right now on screen will be popping up my most recent tactic video for you all to check out. It is a 3-4-1-2, very, very balanced, and it is my newest version of my Thor's Hammer tactic, so definitely feel free to check it out. But until next time, everyone, have a good one. Bye-bye.